Okay, right quick, because these lights will be going out in about 5 minutes. I'm going to do a quick video. I haven't done one in a long time. It's just really busy in the winter time. These are my 10-gallon tanks. I haven't talked about them, and I said I would. So, yeah, not much to them. There is clay and dirt underneath. A larger grain gravel than I prefer to use. This bottom one, oh, it's gone through many changes, but mostly the wisteria took over, and that's great. The Anubias in the center, that's these guys. They really enjoy being in this tank, so I haven't moved them, and they've gotten quite large compared to the growth of the Anubias in other tanks. But I have some auto catfish in here. This one, platies. You can see the platies there. They're getting ready to go to bed, so they're not moving around much. And the moss balls, of course. Moss balls do okay in here, too. There are some ghost shrimp and some auto catfish. I've tried moss in here. It didn't do much. There's a little bit growing along there, but it didn't do too much in here. But this tank's been very stable. Well, all of my tanks are stable. I mean, quality-wise, but water quality-wise. But this tank's been very consistent in its growth. Both of the 10 gallons, the first year I had them, I didn't do any CO2. The second year I went ahead and started adding using Excel liquid. I did actually start, oh, you can't see it, I set up a CO2 reactor and I didn't use it because I was like, well, I'm going to try this Excel stuff first, and it worked so well for such small tanks that I didn't bother. They only get it once a week, so the plants would probably benefit for having more, but as you can see, this one is doing quite well with just a once-a-week dosage of iron and a once-a-week dosage of CO2, liquid CO2. The moss balls are lots of fun. The shrimp love them. They just like to climb on them and pick at them. There were 3 in here. I moved one of them over to the large tank. So there's not too much to tell about this one. The one up top, that one's been more of an adventure. It looks empty right now. Okay, so this tank, well, you can see the TV reflect. No, what is that? I don't see a reflection here, sorry about that. This one, okay, so we had a little incident last winter, where a heater died, and I didn't notice until it was 89 degrees in the tank. So there used to be a giant moss ball in the back, as in a Java moss, just growing, and it completely just died, and it hasn't ever come back. Also, after that, it took some time for the tank to recover. The crypt actually survived, and so did the fish, but except for one fish. One fish didn't make it. This used to be my platy and female beta tanks, and they got moved over. But this one, so there's hair algae in here. Now I think it's really pretty. It's on the, you can't see. It's in the back. Alright, you can't see it very well, sorry. Well, there's hair algae. It is in there. So I'm thinking I'm going to get some, I'm going to throw some cherry shrimp in there. Maybe they'll pick at it. I don't think they really eat hair algae, though. There's Anubias on the log, which isn't showing up very well on the camera, but it's doing okay, actually. Some Java fern, a couple different types of Java fern. There's Java fern right there, there's Java fern right there in the center. In the back there is a very happy green crypt. Ah, shit. Hold on a second. I knew I wouldn't have time. Hold on. Okay, alright, we're almost done here. Sorry. Right, in the back, there's some very happy green crypt. Now, okay, this is important. So what I want to show you about this tank, again, there's a thin layer of clay, thin layer of dirt, and a very large grain gravel. Okay, in the back, the red crypt. Alright, this was the first tank that the red crypt was in. And as you can see, it's very red. And it took over a good chunk of the tank. This whole, people who have seen my Facebook page can see that I've posted pictures of this tank in the past. And it was just plants. The crypt had just taken over this half of the tank. Solid crypt. It was beautiful. I moved it over to the 29. Now, at the time, if you look at my older videos, you'll see the crypt is behaving very differently now. Okay, so the crypt was never truly red. It was a green, and it had a nice the undersides of the leaves were red, and it had a red sheen over the tops of the leaves, but the tops of the leaves were always green. And when I moved them over to the 29, they behaved the same way. They grew they're growing in the 29, that's fine. But they behaved the same way as they'd been behaving in this tank. Well, here's the thing. When I did that, when I moved out all those plants, this tank, of course, had too many nutrients, not enough plants, so I had to deal with a resurgence of the hair algae, but that was okay. It's easy to scrape up. It's so easy to get rid of. Well, anyway, the Excel helps, actually, believe it or not. I read about it, didn't believe it, and it does help. The CO2. Excuse me. Okay, I'm not going to be able to finish this video if I choke. Well, what I wanted to show you here, and maybe I'll point it out again in another video, is this red crypt. Okay, so what happened when I pulled the crypt out of the tank, and this tank was left with minimum plant growth and the same nutrients? Kind of dumb. I should have expected a problem, but actually what happened is the remaining crypt, I left the one crypt, red crypt, one left. I left one in here, fully expecting it to repopulate because it had taken over the tank so much before. Well, the first thing it did was shed some of its leaves, and the new ones that came back are this dark red, both top and the underside of the leaves. Very, very dark red. And that, I imagine, is what the crypt is supposed to look like. That's why it's called red crypt. I'm guessing this is not, it's not wood. That is red crypt. That's dark, dark, dark red. It's gorgeous from stem to the tip of the leaf. It's this dark red. That's the same plant that looked so green before. Now, dark, dark, dark red. And then it started shooting babies like it used to, but the babies are red too. Now, I think that's really cool because they used to be green, but I did not change my fertilizer routine, okay? I didn't. Oh, there he is. There's one there. There's a couple over here. Those are baby red crypts right there. Those are, to get a perspective there, how small they are. They're right there. It's shooting them up all over the tank. So, that's very interesting, and as you can see, it's very open in there. There's a lot of space, and I'm still using the same fertilizing routine, so I think it's benefiting. I have to assume it's benefiting from the extra fertilizer. It's not. There's a little bit of what do you call it? The duckweed at the top. But as you can see, it's not doing much up there, so the nutrients are being sucked up by that crypt, which is awesome. I just didn't realize that red crypt got that red. So, kind of interesting. This tank's been, it's gone through a lot of changes, like I said, because of the heater, and then the lighting, and then so I changed out the fish. The crypt is consistent in here. It does do well in this tank. These are both low light tanks, of course, but almost time to change the bulbs too. And there's the other one. Oh gosh, it's about it. There's just a power head. All there is in these tanks is a power head with a sponge at the bottom to cap it to prevent it from sucking up fish. Both of them are just power heads. There's no other filtration in these tanks. It just circulates the water. I don't have. I can and have gone an entire month without doing any water changes, and the water quality is perfect. It does evaporate some. But and I could have gone longer, except that it had evaporated enough that the power heads were going to be affected. So, they're well balanced tanks, and they're not really highly populated, so that helps too. So they're just platies in here right now, platies and some shrimp and a few autocats. I'm looking for one, so I can. Geez, they're hiding. As you can see, this tank had a baby boom. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but. Baby fish swimming everywhere. I'm looking for one of the autocats. They're hiding. Oh, wait, there's one. They're hiding in here. There's 3 autocats in each tank. Autocats. I know it's kind of. There he is. There's one of them. I love autocats. And I don't see any shrimp. It's an odd time of day. It's about their bedtime, so they're all like freaking out. So, anyway, I hadn't done a video in a while, and come on, focus. Hadn't done a video in a while, and hadn't done the one on the 10-gallon. I also haven't done the one on how I did the 29 setup. Exciting news! I do have another 29 that I'm going to be setting up this year, and soon, next month, I guess. And so that will be the next project. I think maybe I'll do my video about what I did to set up gravel and that sort of thing. The first 29 when I do the second 29. I just haven't had time in winter. I just don't have time. Here, I'll go over there. I just did a water change on the big one. Here, I'll go over there and I will, shit. Everybody's gone. All my timers are gone here. Hold on. Okay. Woo! Yeah, see, I just did a water change. It's cloudy. I also, not only did I do a water change, but I also, sit down here, I also pulled out, oh geez, the power head fell again. It's getting it going off. It's suction cups. I gotta suck it. The suction cups going on there. Well, anyway, there's two power heads in here. And one of them needs fixing. Cloudy, I just dug up the driftwood that was over here and switched it out with another bit of driftwood that I had because I like the shape better. We'll see if the shrimp likes it. So doing that dug up a lot of the dirt and the silt and everything. So, and I also did it's not normally this cloudy after a water change. As you can see, it's very cloudy. And they're like just waking up and being upset about that. So, oh gosh, it's so cloudy. Embarrassing. Well, let me go over here. Ooh, I got some spots. Okay, that's a green crypt. And that's a wilty. Oh, it's hard to tell. Okay, so this is a red crypt. There it is. Red crypt. Without much lighting back here. And you can see there's some red, but a couple of them look a little translucent, so I'm not sure they're... Something went up... Oh, here we go. There's a good... Okay, this leaf right here is a good example of how the underside is red and the top is green. Yeah, it's not 100% happy in that corner either, and I think I need more iron in this tank. Oh my gosh, it's so cloudy you can't see anything. I really did. I stirred up this whole corner, and it was worse before. So I will leave you with an embarrassing look at my sleepy, sleepy fish and an airite snail.